Well, I have been outside a little this morning, and now it's raining a bit. Just a gentle rain like we've had so often this past week. I was just talking about that. I think we had 7 rains yesterday or the day before. 5 or 6, 7, I think, individual little passing squalls. Nothing very well. Usually, if you have that much rain, you'll have 1 or 2 that's pretty strong. I'm out here with my other camera, which is waterproof, so I'll just give you a little walkabout. Rusty is here behind me someplace. I just have a lot of fun with plants. Almost everything that I have here is foreign to me, so I don't know much about it. This is a whole new experiment in gardening for me. Succulents were never an interest of mine in the past, but here they seem to be so commonplace and very popular. So why not? I can have a few of those. Now, if you see this plant here around my property, I have like 10 maybe or 12. This is a maguey. I have several of those, all of which I rescued from a cleanup project in the boulevard near my house. It runs along about 4 miles or 5. And my first year here, I was on my way downhill and found piles of these things everywhere. Now they were little, they weren't like this. These are 2 years old now, or almost. But I asked one of the guys in the crew if I could collect some of those, and were they going to be, reused or anything like that? So he said, no, take all you want, take them all. So a friend and I took, I don't remember, I took 8 or 10, and I think he took about that many. This is a new plant for me. This is a bougainvillea tree. If you remember, I had my mango here, but that just didn't have a good shape. I don't know if it was right for the area or just was a mistaken expectation on my part. I just didn't know what to expect, and it's not a tree that's very attractive. And kind of big and floppy. It was not strong, so it was constantly leaning over. Lot of reasons why I had to replace it, but one of the guys here took it to his house. Down in there, Rusty the other day walked in there and did his duty. I am rebuilding this little round circle. If you remember, it was a spiral before. Now I'm going to make it round or square, whatever it starts to do, kind of like this one over here. And I might point out right here, the first of the flowers are coming. There are a few. Now I bought this bougainvillea tree in a little garden center near my house, just really close. There's one across the street and one down about a block or 2. This had recently bloomed, and then when it stopped, they pruned it back. But the young lady there assured me it was going to be a dark red. I don't care really. I'm not fussy about color, but I did want a nice shape. And yes, she was right. It's red. Back there, you have some fun things. Most of which is I'm going to come back in here. The papyrus, which gets a lot of attention. That tall, weird, crooked thing is called pata elefante, or elephant's foot. Looks like an elephant's foot. This is called Pachypodium. Look at the amazing trunk. Pachypodium is also known as Madagascar palm, but I'm learning that it's actually not a palm, but a succulent. If that's not right, then I'm reading wrong, but over here then is another new plant. I had something there that was also growing too fast and not attractive in the way I had hoped, although it would be great in a bigger property. So I replaced it with another tree bougainvillea, and this one is a softer red. It may look the same here, but it's actually a coral color, more, I don't know if it's magenta or fuchsia. We'll see. The flowers of a bougainvillea start out in one color and they sort of change So you might get a couple of, it looks like a blended color is the result. Down here is something called mosaico. I learned about that my first month in Querétaro, and I had never heard it before, but it's probably everywhere. I just have never seen it. Over there is a, can you see that? It's way over there is a ficus. It's a braided ficus. It's actually 14 little ficus trees braided together. There I have bird of paradise. Bird of paradise. You may not hear me well. And the pink red things around it is called muñeca. I don't know what it's called in the United States. I think we have that, but it's called something else. I think we do have that. I use a few succulents here and there. Oh, this thing here in front of me, this is my pride and joy. This is a palma yucca plant, but it's a little different than what we have in the United States. It's very old. I'm told it is brought from the jungles of Veracruz. Does not grow natively here, but grows by the millions there in the mountains. Around here, another one of my larger magueys. This was also a rescue. This thing here, the green plant, is a galatea. I had 3 of those all in a different place, and they got too much sun. Even though it was just a very little bit of sun, it was too much, and so I have transplanted them here, and they're doing better. This needs to be put in. This is a thing that I sorry. Those 2 belong in the house. Over here, what? Over here I have this Palma Estrella, star palm. And there's Rusty. Come on, Rusty, come outside. Come with me. Come on. That's about it. I have croton down in here, a couple of different kinds. I prefer these screw tops. What do they call these? Crota chueca, crota torcido, I think. Something like that. Twisted. That is a very nice clump of Dracaena marginata. I think it's marginata, I'm not sure. I have a couple of things in there. What am I thinking of? I can't think of the word right now. This is caladium, but what I'm trying to think of is this green thing down in there. I have 3 or 4 of those, and I have mixed luck with those. Can't say as I would recommend it, just because they look so great at first, but then they start to kind of fiddle out. I have a pair of palm trees here that might be too close, but they're leaning out, so I'm okay with that. Over there is an anthurium. I have a pair of orchids in the mix here. Over here I'm kind of finishing a little breakfast. My breakfast today was omelette. That's kind of typical for me. Omelette with onion, cheese, and sausage. Or sometimes I have like a bean tacos. My friend Luis made this for me. Let's see, I think he did a couple for me. He did this one and the one behind me. Yeah, this one. But, and I think one inside the house. I have them kind of scattered. I think I have 6 at this point, and we need to make more. It's a nice little project that we do together. All right, that's all for now. Dripping. Oh, and over there I have a hummingbird feeder. And while it's raining and I'm outside getting wet, I might as well add a little to that video that I started. If I may come around here, This was this little brick pathway was added by me and Jose long ago. I put in all of these cubanas with a long line of mother-in-law's tongues. Right here is a frangipani, and over there is, I'm really proud of this this large Dracaena. I discovered it at Mercado de Flores. It's actually two plants together, two Dracaenas but of different varieties, and they came as one giant clump. And over there, well, first let me show you here. This is my motorcycle parking, where I also park the wheelbarrow, but my motorcycle goes there and my house goes up there and so on. And I don't know what this is called. No idea what that's called. If I may go around here, hold on a second. Lots of, oh God, I'm getting wet. Lots of little things I've added just as sort of a basic skeleton style garden. Nothing terribly unique, but I have fun with it nonetheless. Here I have more of these mother-in-law tongues. There's Rusty inside. And this is mixed with something called, I'm not going to say it because I always get it wrong and then they correct me and I forget the name of it. There is a, well, this has little flowers. They look a lot like iris, but the Spanish word prevails and I don't know what that is. Now over here is something interesting. This is called Dracaena Italiana. One of the first things I did when I moved here in August of 2019, which is just 2 years and 2 weeks ago, I planted this row of Duranta here, and you can see I have mixed luck with it. I think I have sort of a repeating condition of grubworms, and I have spent a fortune in grubworm medicine, but it doesn't seem to last very long, and I need to do it again. But there you see some of my work. Here are very pretty. I call it coral, this bougainvillea. As I have said before, I'll say it again. My maguey plants were all rescues from a cleanup project in the boulevard a couple of years ago. Well, I think it was December 2019. I was out there with a friend and couldn't believe it. We just saw hundreds of these, and they were like, by hundreds I mean they were little. They were the size of your hand, maybe the size of a grapefruit, and I brought home 10. My friend Carlos grabbed at least that many. And so, that's that. Here I have a giant jade plant, from which I have made 2 smaller ones. There. Another, this was my smallest maguey, and it's just been small forever, but it was very, very tiny. It was sort of an extra when I came home that day. This jade plant is big and almost impossible to carry. Kalankoi or something like that. How do you pronounce it? I don't know. Isn't that interesting? But here then is another Palmayuca. Extravagantly, hugely big, but I had to have it. I always think of Carol Burnett. Saw it in the wind and had to have it. As she came down the stairs wearing the drapes from a Gone with the Wind skit. Azalea there, and there's a boxwood bonsai there. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sniffling. I sniffle all the time. But all of this is new from when I moved here. I might mention that this little square of Duranta was here, but it was a scraggly, about to die, worthless shrub. And I have slowly trimmed it into something nicer. And that's all for now. Isn't that interesting?